When it comes to senior living, it's about choice. It's a lifestyle. For the most part, they provide pretty much everything. But what if there was a fire? Phoenix Fire Department visits La Siena Community to talk about safety.
Let's talk about preventing fires first. Let's start in the prevention aspect of things, and then we'll move on to what to do if there is a fire. So, preventing the fire from happening. Smoking. I know some people still smoke. I don't recommend it, but there's designated areas for smoking. I've seen people fall asleep with cigarettes in their mouth. I've seen people smoking with oxygen, breathing oxygen. Have you? It sounds like some of you have as well.
My wife had a cousin who was in the hospital and he was smoking with oxygen, killed himself.
I cannot make this up. People smoking with oxygen tanks on, breathing with nasal cannulas on. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Don't do it, please. If your friends are doing it, let's have a nice conversation with them about it. And we can bring in the fire triangle and how fire works. But, oh, it's scary. Next, so the smoking. Cooking is another big one. Cooking. And it's hard because I'm guilty of it too. I thought I almost caught my barbecue on fire the other day. Forgetting about it, getting distracted. People leaving food on the stove or in the oven and forgetting about it. So I always tell the best people, the best advice I can give you is to stay in the kitchen when you're cooking. It's difficult for me, but we're forgetting about our food. It's catching fire, or things are like placemats or cutting boards sliding over and being put on the stove, catching fire. We've seen a lot of these types of issues. So when you're cooking, if you are, which I don't think you need to in this place, oh, I'd be in trouble here. Cooking is an issue only when you leave your food unattended when you're cooking. So be careful with that. If there ever is a scenario in your home, we need to be prepared for it. I know we joked around a little bit about the fire drills and the escape plans and all of that, but even before that step happens, we need to be prepared. So the fire alarms are fairly loud here. Okay, but sometimes we need to look at other options. There's strobe, flashing lights. There's also vibrating smoke alarms that you can put underneath your bed mattress or in between your sheets and your mattress. Vibrating smoke alarms, which will wake you in an emergency. But if we do get to that point, now we know there's some sort of smoke or fire within the building. Okay, we need to be prepared. Have some essentials bedside, whether it is hearing aids, okay, glasses, walkers, things like that, so we are prepared. Does that make sense? Keeping things so we are ready if something does happen, so we're not cluster and trying to figure everything out, but we know where our stuff is. Then we can start hearing better, we can start seeing better, and we can evacuate the building if need be. Telephones. Do you guys have cellular phones? Yes. Yeah, they're incredible. Keep them close by, all right? So I like to have them. I keep mine bedside, but I don't even have a home phone anymore. I have my mobile phone, and it sits bedside, and it's plugged into the charger, right? Those are good for us, so we know if the fire is close to you or near you, you're able to call. Maybe you're unable to get out of your room or your residence. Call us. Let us know where you're at. I need to know what floor you're on. Are all of you able to open your sliding glass doors to your patios and your windows? That's very helpful for us. If you're unable to get out of your room, make sure, I have an older home and I tried to open up a window a couple weeks ago. It can be tough. If you can't, maybe you call maintenance or Jonathan and have him come fix it, lube it up. But make sure you can open up your windows and you can open your sliding glass doors, because we're going to be looking for people. Hey, I'm up here. That's very helpful if there's fire and smoke and you're unable to get out. One other thing I wanted to talk about as far as prevention stuff that kind of falls into if there is a fire. We've had some hoarding issues. I don't know if they're here. Jonathan, is there? You know, one or two, not too bad. But be careful for yourself for the fall prevention aspect is people piling things up high, narrow walkways, difficult to get in and out of places, but it also becomes a big fire hazard, okay? So hoarding is a fire hazard, and it's gotten worse. Anyone know why it's gotten worse over the years? I don't even have to leave my home now to order clothes, food. It's all being delivered, right? Amazon, these facilities, a lot of other facilities are delivering right to I can pick up the phone or shoot it on my phone, and boom, it's getting delivered to my house, and then boxes and things are stacking up, piling up, and people aren't really leaving, which is also causing many more issues. But keep that in mind. Please keep your walkways clear, not only to help prevent falls from yourselves, but also for fire safety hazards. There's a lot of wonderful things around this place, and that's one of the things that your director and I spoke about, is that there is fire extinguishers in your hallways. Okay, so there are, and you have a map. The back of every door has a map of where the fire extinguishers are. You're also able to have a fire extinguisher in your home. Now, they have many size fire extinguishers, from like 4 and 5 pounds all the way up to like 20 plus pounds. So a smaller one may be good, but do we even need to get to that point? So, for example, a grease fire. Please do not take the pan and try to walk it outside, okay? 3 elements to make fire: heat, fuel, and oxygen. The best thing to do with a fire on top of the stove is to put a lid on it. Cover it. If you don't have a lid, wet a hand towel down and place it over it. Turn off the heat, but eliminate the oxygen to it, turn off the heat source, and it will go out. Do not panic. I've seen people burn their hands and forearms all the way up trying to run a grease fire pan. And the same thing with an oven fire. Turn off the heat, keep it closed. Don't let oxygen get in there. Okay, don't let the air get in. Keep it closed. The minute you open that thing up, keep it closed. Put a lid on it. The worst thing you can do is throw water on a grease fire, right? Okay, because it hits the bottom of the pan, converts to steam, and then blows the fire all over the place. So you never throw water on a grease fire. Yeah, I don't tell people to put flour on it. I don't want to waste flour. Look, clearly. That's why I just say put a lid on it, cover it, and it'll be much easier. Because what's happened too is I've seen people trying to dump stuff on, and then it gets on them, gets on their clothes, and they get burned.
It's absolutely very important. It's your first line of defense in a fire. It can take us 4 to 5 minutes to get to your house. This fire extinguisher is accessible within a few seconds to you in the event of a fire in your residence. Every fire extinguisher will have on the label, it will tell you how to use it, but we like to go with an acronym called PASS, P-A-S-S. What that stands for is pull. So you pull this pin to activate the fire extinguisher, have it ready. You aim. So you take the nozzle, you'll aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, not at the smoke or the fire itself, but actually at the base of what's burning. You will squeeze. You will then squeeze this handle down, and then the extinguishment will come out. It'll last about 30 to 40 seconds, and you will sweep. That's the final S. So you sweep back and forth. So it's a pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep motion. And then use the entire extinguisher. You don't need to stop if you think the fire's out. Just keep this handle down until the extinguishment is done coming out. You'll know it'll stop expelling like a yellow or white powder. At that point, then the extinguisher is done. It will not work anymore. By then, hopefully the fire is out. If the fire is not out, we recommend at that point you leave and leave it up to the professionals to put it out. Don't go get a second one or a third one or a fourth one. Just use one and then get out if it doesn't work. Always call the fire department first. Call us. We always advise you have your back to an exit. Never put yourself where the fire is between you and an exit to use an extinguisher. This is a great resource, but it's not worth your life. So if you can't fight it or you feel the smoke or fire is too dangerous for you, leave it to the professionals. But again, always call 911 before you attempt to use a fire extinguisher. Many of the hardware stores will have them. What we recommend is you buy the ones that are a metal housing. It will be a 2A 10BC rated fire extinguisher. You can also go to the fire department's website, the fire prevention section. We have some information about fire extinguishers on there. But again, once you purchase them, the key to remember is to look at this gauge on the extinguisher. You're going to want to make sure it's always in the green. If you're in the green, it's good, it's functional. If it's in the red, either to left or right, it's not going to function or it may not function as long enough.
So in this particular facility, so elevators, why we don't want people going in elevators is for a few reasons. Is the smoke is going to look for a place to go, right? It's going to look for those chimneys, is what we call them. That smoke, if it's on the first floor, it's going to start getting into that elevator. It's going to, because smoke rises and starts spreading across the way. We always use stairwells. Stairwells are good because then you can't get trapped. Like elevators can malfunction, you can get trapped in an elevator as well. But in this facility, what'll happen is if a fire is in a certain area, say that the fire's in this, we're on the second floor and there's 4 floors here, the only people that really should be evacuating initially are the people around that fire area and the people above it, okay? The sprinkler systems are going to be activated. What I'm concerned about is everyone at the same time trying to leave this entire building and people falling and getting hurt and getting injured, okay? You don't want to go in the elevator. I would rather have you stay in your room and keep the door closed and stay in there, and then you can go to the patio and then close the door behind you and go, hey, I'm up here. We will have plenty of firefighters if we need to even evacuate you, if we need to remove you, that we can put a ladder up and get you down. But I would rather have you stay in your room until it may not even be a fire. What if someone tripped the alarm? What if it was someone just cooking and burnt popcorn, something like that? I mean, I don't want anyone getting injured here. But we'll also let you know, they also have a large intercom system in this facility that we can also let you know. And then he has another way to communicate, and I say he is in the director to send out a mass communication to all of you. If you're unable to get down the stairs, again, and move the opposite direction of where the fire is. Because what happens is it's not so much the fire that hurts you, it's the smoke. And the smoke gets to you before the fire does. So what happens if there's, this corner of the room is on fire, chairs are burning, the smoke will hit the ceiling and it'll start traveling all the way across, fill this room, and then it will start going down. That's why when we go into elementary schools, we teach kids, stay low and smoke, stop, get down and crawl out, because smoke hits the ceiling and starts coming back down. So what do we do about pets? And it's going to be the same thing that I tell every resident. Let us get your pet. If it is necessary to evacuate a building, leave the pets, that's what we'll do. We have PPE, our equipment that we can use to go into smoky environments, fire environments, and we can rescue pets. We also have Fido bags on our fire trucks. We can give pets oxygen if need be. Different size masks for all kinds of different size animals. We will rescue your pets, okay? But our main concern at that point is to make sure if it is a fire and smoke environment that we get you out of there. But we're there for pets. We will help them. Absolutely, we're all about it. When the fire department shows up to your residence, we're going to want to know a few things. We're going to name, age, date of birth. But we're going to want to know your medical history, and we're going to want to know what medications you take, okay? So if you have a list of your medications, that would be the best way. And where we're telling people to keep them is either on your fridge or in your fridge, okay? So we know. We need to have does everyone in here have a refrigerator in their house? Yeah, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
inside the medicine.
If it's inside your medicine, that's where we're going. As long as we can get there. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we have a place that we know where your medications are. We're either going to the refrigerator or we're going to a medicine cabinet. Not everybody has medicine cabinets. Trust me, I've been in a lot of homes where I've gone, what in the world? Where is the bathroom? And we can't even find it. Some way I always find my way to the kitchen though. I don't know how it happens. But having a medication list is nice. We will go through and try to find medication. This is all if you're unconscious, and there's a lot of different scenarios. Medication lists are very valuable. DNRs, do not resuscitate. They better be somewhere where we can find them. On the refrigerator, there we go. So that's where I like medications. I wanted to make sure that I have all your medications. A lot of times I can find them. People keep them on their nightstands or their dressers or in their bathrooms. And if they have a medicine cabinet and it's not filled with hairspray and other stuff, maybe they're in there. But DNRs on the refrigerator. If someone comes to me and says, hey, they don't want to be resuscitated, do you think I'm going to go, okay? Oh, we won't. I know they're my friend. They don't want to be resuscitated. Sorry, we're doing resuscitation and we're taking them to the hospital unless someone can provide me an official DNR.
So if you or one of your loved ones want to get a DNR, which is a do not resuscitate, you need to go through the state and get a formal documentation that specifies that this is your wish. It is the only piece of paper that first responders and the hospital recognize as an official documentation of honoring your wishes. In the event first responders come to your home and you're unable to tell us where the DNR is, the most common place that first responders are going to go look for the DNR, the do not resuscitate orange piece of paper, is going to be on the refrigerator or in the refrigerator or even the freezer. That's the most common place that we're going to go to look for that, along with your medication list.
We've had people drop things off at fire stations. We've had people say, oh, I just flush them down the toilet. No. What I can tell you not to do, just don't flush them down the toilet. There's agencies that will take them, and we'll work with Jonathan if there are people that have medications that are expired, and we can certainly get that squared away, and maybe that'll be in the next newsletter for you. All right, you guys, that wraps up our, thank you. That'll be the wrap up of our Fire Prevention and Safety Week. Thank you, guys.